has been a journey. My journey started right here in this congregation, in that fifth pew sitting right there, listening to Pastor Scott, or mostly listening to Pastor Scott. That was my favorite nap time, or as my wife would say, I was resting my eyes. So it's perfectly fine if you rest your eyes today. Thinking about this journey, thinking about my journey through Sunday school under the leadership of Sister Dolores Lee, under the leadership of Deacon George Wilkinson. It also included sitting up in this choir loft. When I first got here, it was Mr. Sylvester, Blast from the Past, and Miss Clark, who was an amazing women that we learned from, people that we grew from. And I can't forget Professor Jerry McCants. Amen. Calm, cool, collected, always there, always supportive, always came out, no matter what time of day, no matter what night, Professor McCants was always here. So I have to just thank them for being a part of my journey. I guess for me, my journey started in high school. Reverend Scott mentioned it. I was in high school, young man going through, and at the age of 15, my father passed away. And it was a tough time for me. Couldn't sleep. But a family member came to me and said something to me. They said, God will make sure that everything will be okay. And I was 15, and I didn't understand what they were talking about. But trust me, it allowed me to sleep again. Just hearing those words, God will be okay. He will make sure you're fine. Took that journey, and I went to the George Washington University, which, by the way, Reverend Scott, I'm going to give you credit for. Because every time you would announce it, you would announce how James went there. You would always say, James at George Washington University. So when they came to my school, I just always remembered, oh, Pastor Scott always used to talk about them. So I'm going to give you credit for introducing that into my life and me going to George Washington University. But as you said, things weren't easy. Students, as you go to college, do not fall behind in your grades. Do not fall behind in your work. It is easy to get caught up. It is easy to say, oh, well, I could do it the day of. I mean, I still do it now, but I'm a little better at it. Please do not get caught up. And I'll share a personal story with you. I got caught up. And I received a letter my second year in from the George Washington University saying that you are suspended for school because of your grades. I'll say this again. I received a letter saying you are suspended from school because of your grades. And I was devastated. And I went home. And I had no one to blame but myself. My mom looked at me and said, don't worry about it, we'll figure it out. And something started happening. The next week, I got my financial aid letter. I said, this is interesting. Thought I was suspended. Okay. Then I got my housing assignment. I said, maybe I'm not suspended. And I went back to school. I went up for 3 months, nothing happened. I said, I guess they made a mistake. And then I went to register for my next set of classes, and the dean said, well, you're suspended. I said, well, I'm here. I've been getting grades. And think about how God worked. The new dean of that school was one of my former professors. And out of all classes, he was my religion professor. Cannot make this up. He was my religion professor. So he said to me, let me take a look at your grades in my class. So I started sweating. I said, oh man, I hope I did well in his class. I just wasn't too sure. And he looked and he said, wow, you got an A in my class. So he said, you know what, you can stay in school. I'm telling you, look, church, I hope you're with me today. I hope you are with me today. From that day forward, for the rest of my time at GW, I was on the honor roll. Because I took advantage. And I'm going to tell you this now. God puts things in your life. God gives you opportunities. You have to do it. Don't wait. Don't assume, oh, why me? No one's helping me. He's going to put those things in your life. You have to do it. I hope somebody's listening to me today. I graduated from GW. I was excited. And then now I was beginning my next journey in my career. Because of my low grades, initially I wanted to be a lawyer, and it didn't work out because my grades were too low. So I said, okay, I'm going to start as a substitute teacher. Started teaching, working hard every day. No matter what job you're in, what situation, you go there every day and you work hard. And I worked hard, and I would see some of my colleagues who were making twice as much at me. Why is this guy working so hard? Did you know what he's making? And trust me, church, I wasn't making that much. But I kept working, I kept going, I kept at it, I kept persevering. And then finally, guess what? I got my teaching degree. And I got my teacher's license. And a huge shout out and assist to my wife, Caroline. At the time, she was just my girlfriend, and she encouraged me. She said, come on, let's go enroll you in school. I'll do it. She said, no, Donald, I just made a phone call. You're going to meet with Professor Karwitz tomorrow. I said, I guess I'm doing it. So thank you. Thank you, Caroline. When you have somebody important in your life telling you what to do and assisting you, don't ever not listen, please. Please. Something else as well, something personal I'll share during that time as well. It happened in 2007, and I was going to get food, ordered food, stepping out of my house, and somebody in the assailant came by and actually shot me. And I was in the hospital, yes. And I was calm, actually. Caroline was freaking out. My mother was freaking out. I was calm, because when you're in that situation, you're just like, whoa. But that was God. That was God protecting me. That was God telling me you're going to be okay. And the irony to this story, and this is something that I'll always remember, my father used to wear a ring, and I wasn't married at the time. And I put that ring on. And now she's my fiance, we were joking around at the time. And I said, oh, here you go, babe, you want to marry me? It was my ring. And she would wear it, and I took it back that day. And when I stepped outside, I was actually shot, out of all places, in the ring. Wow. Cannot make this up. Wow. It saved my finger, and it saved my life. So think about God, think about life, think about situations, think about trials and tribulations. Things are going to be in your way. Things are going to stop you from going where you want to go. You don't let those things get in your way. You push it to the side. Now, unfortunately for me, I had to spend more time in school, but it didn't matter because, again, this is a part of my journey. Amen. 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 Finally got my teaching license, finally got a job. I worked about 10 years at an amazing high school in the Bronx called the Bronx Center for Science and Math. I was a special education teacher. I worked with some of the lowest kids in terms of academics, worked with kids with disabilities. And it was such an amazing feat because at the end of the day, we all can work together. We all can do the work. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do something because you have something. Those are just words. You have to motivate yourself. I'm telling you, I have a witness today. Somebody, let's go, man. You got to understand. Amen. Last story. When I became an assistant principal, I was an assistant principal in the Bronx. And it was my first assistant principal job, and I was working hard. I was trying to impress, making sure I'm doing the right job, listening. I was working on Saturdays. I was working on Sundays. I was doing this. I was getting phone calls. My wife swore something else was going on because I kept getting phone calls from my principal. And I said to myself, this is not where I want to be. This is not the work I want to do. I could have easily still been in that situation. I could have easily still been there working on Sundays, getting text messages and phone calls. And I had the courage to say, you know what? This is not what I want to do. And I applied to jobs. And like I'm going to say this now, it's not easy. You're going to get rejected. You pick yourself back up and say, it's not the end of my journey. And when I finally did get a job, and at the time was the assistant principal job at the Peekskill Middle School, I informed my principal that I was leaving, and she said something to me that always will resonate with me. If this is the way you're going to operate, you'll never be what you want to be, and you'll never get to where you're going to go. Wow. Let me say that again, because I will never forget this. If this is the way you're going to act, you'll never be what you're going to be, and you'll never get to where you want to go. People are going to tell you things. People are going to say to you, graduates, you can't do it. People are going to say, no, you're not qualified for that. Anybody, even people of God. Let me say this again, church. Even people of God. They're going to hold you back. They're going to tell you what you can't do. You don't listen to them. You don't listen to them. So now with a smile, as she now finds out that not only am I the assistant principal, I'm actually the principal of the Peekskill Middle School. I know in her mind she's saying, how did he make it there? So I just want to simply say to the graduates, congratulations. You have completed an amazing journey wherever you're at, whether you graduate from high school or you graduate from college or you received a master's degree or even if you getting your law degree or passing the bar. It's a day to celebrate with your family and friends. Your years of school have not been easy. You have lived through, again, the most challenging crisis the world has ever seen, but you have not let that stop you from completing a milestone educational journey. Please enjoy this moment. You have worked hard. Anytime you put on that cap and gown, you should smile. Anytime you have an accomplishment, you should always be happy. Please remember this. Start each day by believing in your dreams and know that without a doubt, you are made for great things. Be bold. Be courageous. Be your best selves each and every day. For many graduates, this is just the next step in your educational journey. Continue to inspire others. Continue to inspire yourself. And just please remember this, because when you're going through adversity, when you're going through things, you might lose faith in God. You might lose faith. If I lost faith in God with everything that has happened to me, I wouldn't be standing here today. As Pastor Scott said, I would have been that 15-year-old sitting right there, watching my father lay right here and say, this is over for me. God is always with you in your life. Church, God is always there in your life. Always. Continue to love him. Continue to guide him. God will open doors. But just please remember this, everyone. You have to walk through them. Thank you once again. Thank you, Charlotte. Charlotte, I'm also going to give a donation to one of the graduates as well, because I always remember coming back home from school, and after Pastor Scott would announce, anybody from college, please stand up, I would always go find Charlotte and wait for my donation for books, for whatever. So Charlotte, please, you're going to email me. I'm going to make a donation to the scholarship committee as well, because I think it is important that we fund your journey, to fund your education. Thank you again, church. I'm home. Thank you for welcoming me again. Amen.